May the 6th. It is approximately, it's 2:34 in the afternoon. I had a doctor's appointment today at 10:15. I wanted to vlog this morning, but I was in a lot of pain and discomfort and just a lot going on with me. So let me just backtrack a little bit. So I started my injections May the 3rd. I'm actually having some pain right now. But I started my injections May the 3rd. I did the Gonal F 37.5 IUs, and the Menopur I started at night. At 75 IUs. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna get to all of that in a minute. So having started the injections Friday, everything went well. The shots weren't that bad, everything went well. Of course, the Menopur, because it's a little bit more, I'm taking a little bit more fluid in, it's a little discomfort as we're injecting the fluid into that space, but it's not that bad at all. It's just, if anything, it's just a little sore, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. So Saturday, they had to work, so he worked Saturday. And I noticed that I started to have cramps. Now, typically, when I take birth control, my cycles usually start about 5 days after the last birth control pill. So I really wasn't paying attention to that because I'm thinking, okay, I finished my last pill last Monday, which was April the 29th. And I'm starting injects Friday. So I'm just thinking, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just thinking we're moving on. We're doing this. We're starting the injections. And then Saturday, like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that it was 5 days after my last pill, and I started cramping really bad, and I'm like, okay, so all right. Then I started to bleed, and so it was really, really heavy. I usually have very heavy cycles when I take Provera or birth control or anything that has hormone in it. I usually have terrible, terrible cramps and pain with Provera. And when I take birth control, I have pretty painful cycles, but nothing compared to what I feel when I take Provera. So I took the Provera first, of course, and then they put me on the birth control to kind of suppress my hormones to get me ready for the injections. And so when my cycle came Saturday, I was just like, okay, I really didn't know what to expect because, again, like I said, we've done fertility treatments in the past, but this is a first for us with this IVF. So a lot of things I'm kind of like, questioning, like, should I have a cycle right now, being that I've started stimming? And then, of course, the biggest thing to me would be, well, of course, they're starting me out at a very low dose, so maybe it's just not enough to get things moving, and maybe that's why my cycle came when it did. I don't know. I spent the whole weekend, especially since I couldn't talk to my nurse. The office, is closed on the weekends. I spent the entire weekend trying to figure this thing out. I'm a nursing student. That's pretty much what we do. We diagnose other people and we self-diagnose all the time. So, but I really was trying to figure this thing out. Like, is this going to affect the cycle at all? Because I've read some other people who have gone through IVF, some of which they start their injects maybe 2-3 days into the cycle. And for me, my cycle hadn't come yet, and we had already started the injections. Basically, my cycle didn't come after coming off of the birth control, and we had already started taking the injects. So I was kind of like, well, man, am I wasting medication? Because, you know, I'm taking them, and then my cycle comes anyway, and it's still going on. So needless to say, my weekend was very, I'm exhausted. And I don't know if that has anything to do with my cycle, the injections, the other medications that I'm taking. Synthroid now. I'm also still taking the 1,000 milligrams of metformin. I'm taking vitamin D and a few other supplements and stuff to kind of help with this process. So I feel exhausted. I feel so tired. Excuse me, my body is tired. And like I said, anyone who has gone through this, let me know if this is what you experienced. I mean, I feel pure exhaustion. Like, I don't even know. I don't know. So anyway, I went for my appointment this morning at 10:15. Again, it is without traffic, it is a 50-minute drive. But with traffic, I think I left the house at 8:30 this morning, and I arrived there at 10:06. So yeah, to be very, very fatigued and just exhausted and tired. I had a lot of bloat. That's another thing. I don't know if that's a side effect. I don't know. I had a lot of bloat, and it was very uncomfortable. And then, of course, the cramps from my cycle. So today has just been a really wacky day. And I'm just not feeling it today. So anyway, I had my blood work done today, and the follicle scan. And of course, as expected, I expected it. I knew that there wasn't going to be any significant change in my blood work or any significant change in my follicle growth. Again, in theory, to me, because my cycle is on. And so I feel like if things were working, if things were, if there was some stimulation going on, then either my cycle would be diminishing or it would be dried up. So that lets me know that the dose that I'm on, it is a low dose. But I just got the call maybe about 30 minutes ago, maybe less than 30 minutes ago. And my nurse said, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to keep you on the same everything. So I know everything that I've been taking, everything that I've been doing, the shot that I take in the morning, the shot that I take at night, we're just going to do the same thing. So that's where we are. We are taking the same thing. Nothing has changed. My protocol has not changed. So I took the Gonal F this morning before I left. Tonight I'm going to take the 75 IUs of Menopur. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing tomorrow. And I go back to see them Wednesday at 10:15. She did say, of course, with PCOS, it takes a little bit longer to get things moving and get things stimulated. And so I definitely understand that. They are being extremely precautious with me because, like I said before, my AMH was 42. I still have the same amount of follicles on each side, 41 on the right, if not more, and 36 on the left, if not more. So they are being extremely careful with what they are giving me because she said it, I just don't want your ovaries to blow up. And I get it, I definitely get it. But this is, I'm not going to get emotional, but, it is, I think today is 4 days in, and I'm already feeling a little overwhelmed. But this is the real. When you decide to go through this is the real. Sometimes things may not come out as you expect them to, but I will say stay encouraged. I understand the doctors, I understand their approach, and I definitely understand why they're doing what they're doing to, make sure I'm safe. So I'm grateful for that. I appreciate that. But it's still hard because, when you're doing this, that's what you want. You want to take the meds. You want to do the injections. You're stimming to stimulate. And so that is the result that you want. And when it doesn't happen, when you feel like it should, it can be a very daunting situation. So I'm just gonna be patient. I know my husband is going to cover me in prayer, and I think the reason why I'm so emotional is because I remember there was a fertility cycle that we went through years ago, and I was taking the injections. I think we did a Femara and some injection medication as well at that time. And I just remember taking that trip back and forth to the doctors, back and forth. And every time I went, there was no progress. And again, they're always trying to be careful to make sure that I don't hyperstimulate, and to make sure I'm safe. So it just reminded me, today's visit or today's appointment reminded me of that time. I can't go back to that. We have got to keep pushing forward and stay encouraged and know that it's working together for our good. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do exactly what they told me to do, continue to take the injections, and definitely continue to stay encouraged. And prayerfully, we're believing by Wednesday, when I go back in 2 days from today, I will have some progression. That's what we're believing God for. So I just wanted to update you guys. That was my appointment for today. And I will check back in with you all on Wednesday when I go back. I may vlog on my way there. It depends on how I feel, because this morning, y'all, I was just a mess. I was tired. I was a mess this morning, so I didn't want to get on camera that way. And so anyway, but I will definitely keep you guys posted. If you have any comments or suggestions, especially during this time, leave them down below. I would definitely appreciate it. And that's it. You all enjoy the rest of this. It's beautiful outside, y'all. In Georgia, it's so nice. The weather is just right. It's not too hot. It's hot enough, but it's not too hot. And so I really need to get outside and get me some vitamin D. What y'all think about that? All right, y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all go, and we'll check back in on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for watching. All right.